Good morning.
Even though I killed the ghost, there's still room to debate. It's either Jordan or LeBron who being labeled the great. If you hungry for the smoke, then come and get you a plate. Cause some rock with LBJ and some giving them hate. Come tune into the show, cause we bout to get into it.
Jordan is the GOAT.
But now it's time to prove it.
All right, welcome back to another, I almost said GOAT debate. Let me correct myself. Welcome back to another The GOAT Debate, brought to you by GOAT Debate Media. I'm your host, Abaya Israel, with my two co-hosts, Coach Scott, Coach J.O. And you know what? I hate to keep y'all, the fans, waiting. So we're going to jump right in. We got some topics we want to talk about and some things we need to discuss, you know, inside and outside the sports world, because some of these things just kind of get a little bit ridiculous as we sit back. And I'm sure as you sit back and watch these things, man, let's just jump right into this thing, man. I gotta ask you guys about, I'm gonna be real. Somebody I respect, I look up to, and I think is a figure that's growing and continuing to grow. And who knows, I think is probably the GOAT of the tight end world in the National Football League. And I don't know if y'all agree with me on that or not, but that's just my thoughts. But Shannon Sharpe, man, what are your thoughts on this, man? I'm going to be 100% honest. Oh, Unc, man, I think Unc be looking bad sometimes. And I'm going to tell you why I think Unc be looking. Listen, hey, Unc swole, and he be ready to fight now. So don't go trying to fight me. I don't even know if you're going to ever see this, but if you do, don't come trying to fight me, Unc. I'm going to be honest with you, though. I think he be looking bad sometimes. And I'm going to tell you why I think he look bad. The reason I think he looks bad is simply because he's not understanding the fact that who he is. Like, right. Listen, being a tight end in the NFL is major, right? Being a Hall of Famer is major. A Super Bowl win, that's major. But right now, you did that. You don't retire. So you can get away with a fight in football because, you know, football is a barbaric and brutal sport. That, you know, But now you behind them cameras. You can't be trying to fight everybody, You can't be at the basketball game trying to jump the Grizzlies by yourself. I don't know how you jump 15 dudes by yourself. You can't be I'm finna beat the comedian up. You know that comedian don't want to fight you. Look at your arms. What's wrong with you? You setting yourself up for a lawsuit. I love Unc, man. I support him. I watch all the shows. You know, I'm that supporter. You know, Unc, you know, if I ever say something wrong to you, man, if you say you want to beat me up or whatever, I'm gonna let you beat me up because I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be the one to teach you. Like, let me show you what a lawsuit look like. Go ahead and pay me so you can stop the nonsense. You know what I mean? Hey, Coach Scott, you get what I'm saying? I mean, he is a figure now. I understand they don't made up and everything, but you're a figure now. You can't be doing that. What's up?
Absolutely, man. And Ocho, stop boosting. Stop boosting. You over there getting them gas on the Shea Midnight Show. Stop boosting, Ocho. Stop gassing him up. Yeah, man, look, Unc can crush about 100% of the people he want to crush. I mean, he's still in tip-top shape. One of the best tight ends to ever play the game. You know, one thing I will say is, look, comedians leave Unc alone, and Unc, that's not your realm. Those guys are professional hecklers. Leave them alone. They tell jokes for a living. They rank on everybody, and everybody's fair game. Leave those people alone. That's what they do for a living.
Coach Scott, I think he was saying that they wasn't a joke. Like you lying on my name. Don't talk. And I understand where you're coming from. Because as a man, you know, I get, even if you're successful, I feel like I'm pretty successful, but my success don't equate to my name. Like, this is all I got. This is me at the end of the day. So I understand where he's coming from. But Coach J.O., Unc is a figure now. I mean, he was a figure before. Don't I want to say it wrong, but you are on a rocket ship at this point, and it's headed straight up. You know, people gonna talk. And I know you know that by now. Coach, what's going on? Unc gotta realize why he ain't realizing.
I don't know, man. Unc been playing sports since he been, probably 7 or 8 years old. You know what goes on in the locker room, man. Anybody that ever plays sports know that's what we do. We talk trash. I'm pretty sure he heard worse. Worse than that.
Maybe a lot worse, yeah.
Right? Come on, man. Come on, Unc. We are in the social media era. People talk. They're gonna do it. All right. I can understand if Mike Epps was in your face with his hand in your face, talking, doing that. All right. I get it. All right. He's a comedian, man. He's a comedian. And you talking about pulling up and this and that. Hey, we know what pull up mean. Hey, we all from the hood. We know what pull up mean.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you talking about pulling up on this man. He's from Indiana. You pull up on him if you want to. Okay. He told you what's up. He said, I'm not fighting. Okay. Yeah, so come on, man. But I'm glad they made
the comedian soft, man. Yeah, I'm glad they made it too. But we gotta stop thinking the comedian soft. Like, hey, just because a man tell jokes, that don't mean they can't fight. right? For real. Or after that, like Jay-Z said this one time. He said, man, at 30, man, something just clicked. And I understood where he was coming from because something did just click. But at 40, something else clicked. And that clicking was, I ain't fighting no more. You feel what I'm saying? We're not finna fight no more. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if you ain't getting paid?
Nah.
Right. We ain't making that Mayweather money. You let me get in the ring for $100 million. Now, I jump in there with Tyson for $100 million at the age of 60. I get in there with him right now for $100 million. You know what I mean? But
I don't know. I was watching some shorts of Mike, man. I don't know.
Listen,
he look good, man.
He do. That's why I said. You notice I didn't say 99 million. I said 100. It gotta be a straight up 100 for me to jump in there. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't broke, so I ain't chasing the money. So, you know what I mean? I can do without the whooping. You gotta convince me. But only reason I bring that up is this, man, is the fact that, I, for one, think, Shannon Sharpe is the greatest tight end ever. When we have the GOAT debate on tight ends, my vote, y'all already know what's going. I'm just going ahead and just throw it out there right now. And I look up to him. And I ain't gonna lie, when he was on Undisputed, and him and Skip, when he had the Gip, and he was talking Gip, and he was distance, and Skip was, you know what I mean? And he brought that high pitch up out of Unc, and I was like, I was offended. I was mad. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I was like, come on, like you try something. When you know how this when somebody try somebody that you like, somebody you respect.
Yeah.
Right? You offended. I was offended.
You offended. Right. I think everybody at home was watching that show or watching the reclip and like they got offended immediately. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah. And, man, just looking at that, man, I'm like, wow, okay. So now, and I actually think that, and I don't know, I'm just outside looking in, just talking, but I think that helped catapult him to where he's going now. I actually think the Grizzly situation did so as well. He actually had an interview. No, it wasn't an interview. It was on Club Shay Shay, I believe. No, not Club Shay Shay. What's the name of his other podcast? He was on
Shay Midnight.
Midnight, yeah. Him and Ocho. And he kind of said something that may have hinted towards that was the reason he departed from Undisputed, was because of that, but I think that also helped catapult him on his journey at this point. Now you're on First Take and y'all crushing it. You're over there with Stephen A, who, if you ask me, I say, and I'm going to be the first to put this out there, of the analysts, that's the GOAT. Like him, love him, hate him. Like him, love him, hate him. It's the GOAT, you know what I mean? And you're right there with him. You know what I mean? And who knows, man, when Stephen A hang it up, he might be that person. You know what I mean? So he's just on that type of a takeoff right now. You can't be trying to fight everybody, man. You got to stop.
Trajectory is definitely hot.
Yeah, man.
Hot trajectory.
Right? I remember when I was, I don't tell these stories too much because a lot of people don't know these stories. I used to get in fights all the time. But I was, I remember them days, man. Somebody run up on me right now and put their hands up. Now, unless you touch me, like you act like you're going to touch me, that's different. But if you talk from over there, bro. And I think that's what we got to learn, man. But listen, if you ever came across the GOAT debate, first off, we need you on here as a guest host. Secondly, man, stop trying to beat everybody up. We know your arms big. You know what I mean? We know you. We know you probably came out the womb. Bench pressing 225. We know that, but you loved and respected. You can't fight everybody. You on a whole nother level than what a lot of people. And I'm gonna be honest now. This might be offensive. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna tell the truth. He's surpassing what Mike Epps at. Like, you were going to be in a higher level than that. I wouldn't let nobody, get under my skin like that. But anywho, man, let's go ahead. We're gonna move to the next topic. And this one here is, man, Ty Lue. Coach J, I want to start off with you on this one, man. The comments that Ty Lue made, I'm going to play these comments and hopefully they're clear because I had a hard time hearing everything, but I do know they were directed towards some referees. I want to play that one more time. Now, I can't make out if he said what the referee said. I want to kick him in the mouth or kiss him in the mouth or whatever he said, right? I can't make it out. But I know he said, what are referees at now? Cheating ASS. That's all they be doing. Coach J.O., what Ty Lue talking about? What he going in about? What's up with that?
Well, I think that from the fact that Ty Lue was a former player, these beefs with the refs go way, way, way back, right? So that player came out of him, right? That sounded like a player. I've never heard a coach talk like that, right? I've never heard a coach talk like that towards the refs. Ty Lue, he sounded like he was ready to fight, man. He sounded like he was ready to fight. And he paid for it. Like I told you, brothers, $35,000, he could have donated that to the GOAT debate. Okay, we would have gladly took that. All right.
Right.
We would have gladly took that. But that game, he got ejected as well. But truth be told, I don't know what Ty Lue gripe is about. Okay. According to the last 2-minute report for the season, Denver Nuggets, they have the most missed calls in the NBA with 11. And with such a tight race in the Western Conference, 1, 2, and 3 seeds in the West are separated by 1 or 2 games. They should be the ones that's complaining. The Clippers not even in the top 5. You got the Pelicans at number 2 with 10 missed calls in the last 2 minutes. 76ers at number 3 with 8 missed calls in the last 2 minutes. Kings at number 4 with 7 missed calls in the last 2 minutes. And the Celtics, number 5 with 6. I don't see the Clippers up here. So I don't know. So to me, this is some old beef from when he was a player, if you ask me.
Well, Coach Scott, that's the way it works sometimes, right? Because we know that, it like Chris Paul, he has a very strong beef with one particular referee. But this happens, right? And we've heard players talk about referees having a list. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm with Coach J.O. when he says that, possibly, this could be some old beef. What you think?
Absolutely. I think that it stems from some old gripe. And, when you're a coach that was a former player that played at, an extremely high level, you played on some great teams, and in that type of energy, when you're in the thick of the game, I mean, the game the night with the Warriors, they were in the thick of it. I mean, when he got ejected, that was a pretty aggressive foul that his guy gave, but just the moment in itself, the coaches kind of had to come out on the court and break things up, and I think he just got involved in the overall moment of the game, and I think he was trying to show his team that I'm with y'all, I'm in the fight with you. I got ejected, but we pulled the win out. I'm in the fight with you. I understand your gripe, your pain, your frustration, which like you hear it's the referees, but they're not even the worst culprit of bad calls at this point in time in the NBA.
Hey, Coach Scott, you remember? I don't know if you remember this. You remember we were kids at this time, right? Bulldogs, and I think it was a Lauderdale Lakes, or was it Lauderdale? But it was one of
Lauderdale Lakes.
Was it that big old fight, and it broke out between both sides, and the coaches and everybody was out there rumbling. I remember when. It's scary, boy. You look over like, oh man, what's going on there? But coaching that thing, like, hey, it makes you say, well, let's get it. Because coach over here, he fighting. I ain't letting my coach fight by myself. So if that was what Ty Lue was doing, then hey, by all means, amp him up. What you say, Coach J.O.? If he's amping him up, it may have been strategic. Think so?
It could have been, right? Because this team is in need of that. In this race, they trying to get to the number 1 seed as well. I know. He got some beef with PJ Tucker right now and Bones Highland right now with their playing time, and he had to send them home. So it's no telling what's going on in the locker room, right? It's no telling what's going on in the locker room. He probably need to put some fire up under his players. like Paul George in the last year of his contract. So you don't know what's going on in the minds of the players. You don't know what's going on in the locker room, the temperature of the locker room. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely agree.
Go ahead.
Absolutely agree. No, I was just saying, I agree. I agree with Coach. You know, Ty Lue is he's a coach's coach, and he's a player's coach. And he's one of the very few coaches that have called, you know, LeBron James to the floor. Like, hey man, this my team. You know, overall, you listen to what I'm saying, or you go figure it out somewhere else. So come sit next to me. And when you command that type of authority, you know, you're either pushing your team in or you're pushing them out. And what he's doing right now is trying to galvanize the people that are going to be key players in this playoff run that they got.
Right.
Well, with that being said, we'll see what's happening because they doing anything. Let's move to the next subject. Somebody talked about that hard foul, which caused all of this, right? That hard foul, man. It involved none other than Mr. Draymond Green himself. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I just finished talking about I'm trying not to be a hypocrite here. I just finished talking about Unc, right? But you always know it's always that one person that can bring it up at you, right? That everybody got that one person that can bring it up at them. And it's probably a reason I'm not in the NBA, because if I was, Draymond would probably be that person. I'm just waiting for I don't understand how the league has continued to let this happen. I'm trying to figure out how Golden State still feels like this is good to happen. Now we see him and we see Klay Thompson, and Klay Thompson just recently got benched, right? But he responded with a pretty good game, 35 points, 7 3-pointers, you know, shot pretty well, did his thing. But the question is there. Coach J.O., the question is there about moving some pieces around. Of course, we know they got to move Steph. You know, Steph is still Steph. You're not moving Steph. But if the question comes down to Draymond or Klay, who gets your vote and why do they get your vote? Is it the antics of Draymond or the inconsistency of Klay Thompson?
If it's up to me, Draymond is gone. If it's up to me, right? But the only problem is the Warriors don't have anyone to replace him. There's literally no one in his spot to replace him. Okay, the Warriors don't have any, you know, above average backup bigs, and what he does for the team is unique. You know, in the sense that there's nobody else on the team that can do it. There are some other people on the team that can kind of replicate what Klay does, give you 13 to 18 points a night, play a little defense. So, what Klay is doing right now, you got somebody else that can kind of do that. And the fact
Coach
that
J.O.,
Klay,
let me ask you this, and I hate to cut in on you. What is it that Drake 9.7 and 6 rebounds? Like he's never been a double-digit rebounder. He 3 or 4 years maybe where he was a double-digit scorer, barely. Shot contesting, besides kicking people in the groin, what are we saying that can't be replaced? Like, I want to follow you on this one.
Now, when I say can't be replaced, I'm talking about somebody that's on that team. Like, it's other people in the league that can do it. It's just no one there. He's the trigger man for that team, right? And when I say trigger man, he is the man that knows where everyone else is going to be. You know, there are some people who say that he's just this so important player. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that his talent is so important. I believe that he's important to what that team does because no one else is there. He's the trigger man. No one guards him. He knows what Steph is going to be. He knows what Klay is going to be. He knows where everyone is going to be. So he does his job in the sense of getting the ball to the people who's supposed to have the ball. Now, in theory, it sounds very, very simple. Why nobody else can do that? But this is not a very fundamentally sound league. Right. So he's that guy. He's that trigger man. And to this day, he's still a hell of a defender. Very, very good defender. You know what I'm saying? So there's no one else on the team that can actually replicate what he does.
Well, Coach Scott, Coach J.O., I think I would debate that at that point. I would have to debate the defending tips. I think he was. Like we talked about LeBron before. Last show, we talked about him being a great defender at a point. And not so much now. And you know, I probably can't. Year 21, he ain't gonna be the greatest defender. But we talked about it with LeBron, Coach Scott. I'm same feeling for Draymond. I don't see Draymond doing the same things. Now, I get what Coach J.O. is saying, because I think he is a system player. I don't think Draymond goes to another team and be as successful. And I don't think another team puts up with Draymond's antics. Who gets your vote? The antics of Draymond out of there, or the inconsistency of Klay Thompson?
Well, you never get rid of a shooter. When you have a chance to have a shooter solidified on any organizational set in the NBA, you never get rid of a shooter. Ray Allen, he could have not ran up and down the court. He could have ran at 1 mile per hour. He could have been the LeBron James now in the league, as long as he kept shooting the way he was shooting. So we understand that shooters are very few as it pertains to the NBA. But in my opinion, Draymond would have to go. But Draymond is more than just a component of the team that they don't have. He's an enforcer. He's the pulse of that team. He's the guy that keeps the blood moving. He keeps everybody on their toes. And again, like Coach, J.O. alluded to, he knows where to make those assists that he gets. He knows exactly where those guys are going to be and when they're going to be there. He's a very proficient and efficient player. I think that at times he allows his temperament to get in the way of his skill set. But overall, Draymond is definitely the heartbeat of that team. When you look at any team in the NBA, every team has to have an enforcer. And you take Draymond off that team, now you got a bunch of shooters that are running around with no enforcer, and that's
Who
tragic.
Who would you guys say is the enforcer on someone like the Lakers? Who's the enforcer?
I would have to say more of an AD, just based on the fact that he's a physical imposition. You know what I mean? He's not a Charles Oakley. He's not a Dennis Rodman. He's not a Rasheed Wallace. He's not the guy that's going to give you that prowess as well. But he's a specimen. You're not just going to go in the paint and just try and dominate when he's in the paint.
I don't know. I think guys do. That's just my thought. I'm joking. So I'm with you guys. I think Draymond is the one that has to go, because when we look at Klay Thompson, there was a time when everyone was saying he should retire, right? 21 and 2022 season, he should retire. 2 back-to-back sidelining situations that he had, and then he came back. He shot like 38%, right, from downtown. But other than him this season, where he's averaging 17, he's never shot less than 40%. Right? He's always been that guy. Let me say 40% from 3-point. He's always been that guy. And he reminds me of, and Coach J, I wonder if you, and I'm gonna give it to you and tell me if you remember this, Manu Ginobili. Remember how everyone was saying Manu needs to retire? He's just washed up and this and that. But Manu came back out the next year and did his thing, and they got a championship out of it. So maybe, are we writing Klay off too soon? Maybe he's just on one of those bad streaks or what. But if I have to vote, it'll be Draymond, because I think, although you say he's the heartbeat, although you say he's an enforcer, although you say he knows where those guys are going to be, I think he does hurt the team now more than he helps the team. Go ahead, Coach J.O.
Now, as an objective person, I like Klay, right? And everybody loves Klay. He has been this person that's been off limits for criticism through the dynasty. He just had.
Well, not from you, because I saw your Facebook. But go ahead.
Okay, but check this out. There's no such thing as a bad season for an all-star, superstar player. There's no such thing. Right. That means you're falling off. That's what that means. You don't have bad seasons. You're not the same player anymore. And hey, that's just reality. Everybody cannot be LeBron James. Everybody can't be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't be Steph Curry, be 35, 36, and still be at the top of their game. Everybody can't do it. Klay isn't doing it. 17 points per game on 42% from the field, 37 from the three. Listen, for Klay Thompson, that's awful. All right? That's awful. He can't guard a chair right now either. Like, he literally can't. He can't do that, right? So the role that he's going to a bench role. It's going to be good for him. What's not going to be good for him is whoever gave him that advice last summer to turn down a 2-year, $48 million contract, because he's not getting that.
Go, Scott, what's your thoughts?
Finishing up with Draymond, I think Draymond is on his way out of the league himself. I think Draymond, just looking at him with the last couple of interviews he's done, looking at how he's kind of positioned himself with the All-Star game, and him announcing the day, he kind of alluded to, hey man, I don't owe the game anything. I think I've accomplished, what I was going to accomplish. So I think Draymond is actually getting ready to phase himself out of the game. I think he's going to walk himself out of the game. As it pertains to Klay, Coach J.O. hit the nail on the head. Whoever gave him that advice, shame on them. It's been a terrible season for him, as we know Klay. But him coming off the bench frees him up. You're now going against another team 6th and 7th man. For a Klay, that's like playing against a guy at the rec league or at the Y. You can shoot on him. It's no fear. And I think the pressure of what it takes to be a championship form Klay Thompson, I think that's what's kind of in his head right now. And putting him coming off the bench frees him up to just play very liberated, very free, and let the ball fly, much like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, if he does that, he comes off the bench and have nights like he had the other night, 35 points.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Hey, well, he may have transitioned from the starting superstar on the starting squad, but now he's that 6th man and he's still helping the team carry. Who knows? He might get that contract offer again, because I'm just saying, he didn't do what Schroeder did. 5-year, $85 million. Now I turn it down. Now I got 100,000. I'm joking. But
right.
I think if that role could fit Klay and it could fit him well, I'm hoping it do, because I think I like him. I like Klay as a player. I don't. He's not one of them guys that's always in the media for something crazy. Right. I don't think he hurts his team intentionally or just do all type of crazy things, all these different type of antics. So I'm hoping the best for Klay, man. But moving on to the next subject, we have Steve Wilkes. All right. This one pissed me off. I'm not going to lie to you. This one got under my skin. The 49ers head coach, Shanahan, fires Wilkes. And if total defense, 8th in the league, giving up 300 yards. Pass defense, 14th in the league. Rush defense, number 3 in the league, and scoring defense, number 3 in the league. Right? First year. It's his first year. With the 49ers I'm talking about. It's his first year. And you fire him. But yet, Shanahan, your record is 61-54. Not that great. 8-4 in the playoffs. Not that great. You can't win the big game. But yet you fire Wilkes. I'm smelling some BS right here, because I think somebody had to be the fall guy. Somebody had to take the blame for the Super Bowl that you were supposed to win. Somebody had to take the blame for the Super Bowl that you gave away, right? And somebody was Steve Wilkes. Coach Scott, talk to me. I smell some fishy here.
Absolutely. When you look at the dynamic of the 49ers organizational team, and you look at why would Kyle Shanahan bring in a defensive coordinator that totally juxtaposes what you believe in a philosophy of football? Steve Wilkes was going to be fired anyway. When you look at it from a philosophy standpoint, you're talking about a man in Carolina who blitzed 43% of the time. 43% of the time. This year, he blitzed 19% of the time, which means that his philosophy of football had been dramatically changed from what he honestly and truthfully believes football should look like. Example, In the overtime on the last drive, going towards the last, I think it was the last 2 minutes of the game. It was a 2nd and 6, and he dialed up a 0 blitz. And Kyle Shanahan runs down and gets in front of the referee and calls timeout. Well, when you put that type of stress on your coordinator and that type of stress on the defense, one, the reason Andy Reid is so great is because he allows his defensive coordinator to just run the show. He calls his offense. He allows his defensive coordinator to run the show. But if Kyle Shanahan doesn't believe enough in the philosophy that Steve Wilks is bringing to the table, why bring him in? You just alluded to some phenomenal points. 14th defense and pass, 3rd in rush, in total defense number 8. You weren't giving up anything. 14 weeks, they were number 1 defense in the league, and they ended up being 3rd to 8th overall. I think it was a bad hire. I think that should have been caught earlier in the season and allow Steve Wilks to be able to put his name in for a different job. But moreover, I think that this is a poor example of Kyle Shanahan passing the buck, and it's this one stinks. This stinks.
I'm with you on that one. Hey, Coach J.O., should it have been Steve Wilks or Kyle Shanahan? Who should have really been shown the door? Steve Wilks don't get my vote.
I hate to play devil's advocate here. I hate to do it. I do. All right. Now, Steve Wilks in 1995, right? Well, that's almost 30 years. Okay. Mm-hmm. First job, Johnson C. Smith University in 1995. He was the head coach at Savannah State. He was at Illinois State, Appalachian State, East Tarrant State, Bowling Green, Washington. He was with the Bears, the Chargers, the Panthers. He was head coach with the Cardinals, with the Browns, went back to Missouri, went back to the Panthers. Now he's with San Francisco 49ers. Now, I do know coaching turnarounds, that happens all the time, right? Mm-hmm. But that's 15 different teams in like 30 years. That's too much. Okay? That's too much. There's too many jobs. You know, you can't keep one. And it's a reason why. Okay? It's a reason why. Now, I will say this. Last year, the San Francisco 49ers, correct me if I'm wrong, they were the number 2 defense in the NFL. Now, not to his blame, because Coach, you said it. It was a bad hire. Nonetheless, he was the coach, and he's responsible for making that team the best defensive team possible. Now, was he working against his own head coach's philosophy? Maybe. But at the end of the day, as the defensive coordinator, it's his job to get the job done, right? Now, in the regular season, the San Francisco 49ers gave up 303 yards per game. In the playoffs, 409. That's unacceptable. It just is. Like, who else is going to take the blame for that? That's what I'm saying. Who else is going to take the blame for that other than him? You can't be that good in the regular season and then you just fall off the cliff in the playoffs. They fell off the cliff defensively in the playoffs. 400 yards a game, that's too many yards to give up in the playoffs. It just is. No way around it, no way to slice it, no way to dice it. Okay? So if somebody was going to take the blame, he had to. Whether it's fair or not, he had to.
So you're saying that I'm not necessarily saying it's fair, but somebody got to take the blame and it's going to be this guy. But in reality, Coach Scott, I'm going to let you respond to Coach J.O. because I see the one eye squinting. I know you got some feedback.
Right.
I've seen the pen moving a couple times, so I know something coming back, so I'm going to let you respond. But in reality, again, I think this was set up. I think Shanahan, he's showing, as you stated before, Coach Scott, that he's showing that he can't win the big game. And so he just found somebody to put it on. And I think that's what Coach J was alluding to. But go ahead, Coach Scott, you can respond.
No, I think when you take Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, a quarterback that has been identified as one of the greatest quarterbacks of our era, of our time, and you take them into the halftime with 3 points, the only time they really made a significant drive is on a short field when on the punt return, they kind of had a bounce off the foot and they got the defense out there on the short field when the defense had literally just made a significant stop to flip the field. On plays such as that, this was the Super Bowl. Now, I would agree. He didn't call a good game against Green Bay, and I don't think he had a solid game playing against Detroit. I think they just ran wild. But again, when your philosophy of the game is stressed, it is basically taken apart. You now have to put together a scheme that fits the way the coach wants to play, as opposed to allowing your defense to play to their strengths. If we look at the 49ers defense, historically, their defensive line, best in the league. The linebacking crew, top 5 in the league. And their secondary was girded and anchored very, very strong. I think that you allow your defensive coordinator to play free, allow him to blitz, and then you find out where the holes are. But you do not in no way, shape, form, or fashion place the blame at the defensive coordinator's feet when he's bringing you 14 weeks of a number one defense. That speaks volumes. That speaks of success. Now, my question is he being penalized because he was a journeyman early in his college coaching career? Is he being penalized because he was a journeyman in his beginning stages of a NFL coach? I think that penalty would be harsh. I think that looking at it that way is kind of harsh when we look at some of these coaches that get head coaching jobs that have no business being head coaches, and they get sent to teams that could be contenders, i.e. the Miami Dolphins. Right?
Makes sense. What say you, J.O.?
Now, he has had some bright spots in his career, right? What I got down here is he was the DB coach, right, for the Chicago Bears, the Super Bowl team that played the Colts. He was the DB coach. Yes. They were number 2 in INTs that year. For the Chargers, he was the DB coach as well. They were the number 1 passing defense in 2010, right? So he had some good ones, right? 2017, he was the defensive coordinator for the Panthers. They had a top 10 defense. But as a head coach, 3-13 with the Cardinals. Bottom 10 defense, all right? That was the worst season, I think, in Cardinals history. So that's a stain, right? And I'm not saying other coaches haven't had bad seasons, but that's definitely a stain, all right? In 19, he was the defensive coordinator for the Bengals. They had a bottom 5 defense, okay? I'm sorry. Like, does he hold any accountability for 409 in the playoffs, 409 yards in the playoffs?
He should hold accountability for that. But what you can't do is say with a Cincinnati Bengals that was so offensive heavy, where's the rest of your cash? Where's the rest of your cap space for bona fide defensive players? So when you're saying that they were a bottom 5 defense, you got to look at what he had to play with, right? When you're looking at the Cardinals, I mean, you had to look at what he had to play with. They paid their quarterback over $100 million. What was the salary cap and what did he literally have to go get to solidify his defense as a cornerstone defense? Didn't have too much.
I mean, those are fair points. I'm just saying, hey, it is what it is. You know, that's his team. That's his defense. He's responsible. You know what I'm saying? He was responsible for rallying the troops, getting them ready. And in the playoffs, he didn't do a very good job at that. He had some good moments, like you said, in the first half of the Super Bowl. They were decent. Oh, well, damn good. Let me say that. All right, but they didn't get the job done.
I agree. But I don't lay that at Steve Wilkes' feet. Clearly you watched the game and we saw a couple of, adverse ball bounces, but I don't lay that at his foot. I think that Kyle Shanahan, based on his scheme, his philosophy of football, it was a terrible hire and he should have never brought him in if this was going to be the end result anyway.
Right. That's right. And
my personal.
And the blame it on Steve Wilkes, San Fran had a receiver running actually wide open in the end zone had they not, Brock. And I don't want to put it on, Brock because he played, to me, a great game. But there were a couple opportunities that were not taken, and they end up losing the game. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to move to the next topic. Top 5 greatest of all time. I'm going to start with, all right, anybody know who went? All right, I'm going to Coach J.O. because Coach Guys, you just finished. Now, I need to know, because I think my top 5 my top 5 is easily 82-0, and nobody's going to beat them. Yeah, 82-0. They're not losing. They're not losing. Nobody's beating my top 5, right? Nobody's beating my top 5. Coach J.O., who are your top 5, and are your top 5 also your all-time starting 5? Who are they?
All right. Now, how I come up with this list, right? Not only by accolades, statistics, stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. When you watch these players and watch how dominant they were, it's undeniable. Just is, right? Okay? So number 5, the great Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All right? Probably the most decorated resume in basketball history. I'm not going to go down the line of all his accolades because it would literally take all day, right? Number 4, the Diesel, Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know how many people got Shaq in the top 5, but I do, okay? That's undeniable. His dominance from 2000 to 2004, we probably never seen anything like it in the modern era, right? Outside of Wilt Chamberlain, the most dominant player in NBA history, okay? Number 3, the far and beyond best point guard ever, Magic Johnson.
Okay.
If we look at his resume, he got a more legit argument for being the best player ever than LeBron James. If we want to keep it a buck, right? Ooh. That would be actually a good debate. Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan.
Wait, hold on, Coach. Hold on. Hold your horses right there, Coach J. And I'm going to give it back to you. Because I just got a phone call literally last night from the Butcher. That's what he calls himself. That's my guy. He says, I need y'all to talk about Magic versus LeBron. Who's a better point guard at 6'9" and 6'8", Magic or LeBron? I was like, man, it intrigued me. Come on, that's intriguing. Now that's intriguing. I was like, okay, you know what? I might have to get you on the show as a special guest, and we have to go over that one. But I just want to throw that in there since you said it. But go ahead, you got it. Let you get back on your roll. Go ahead.
Okay, we love to talk about how many finals LeBron made and this and that. Magic Johnson lived in the finals, man. But listen, man, his first 12 years in the NBA, he was in the finals 9 times, man. Come on. As a rookie, finals MVP with a 42-16 game to close out without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Come on, man. You're not beating that, all right? Now, number 2, the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant, all right? My favorite player ever. His resume speaks for itself, but I think it's more so what he did to the hearts and the minds of the people. He is the players' champ. The players love Kobe, man. That means a lot. And number 1, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. There's nothing to be, discussed about that. He is who he is, the GOAT, undeniable. Hey, it is what it is. You put anything up next to it, can't compare. Michael Jordan, the Black Cat, whatever they call him. He's the GOAT, the number 1 player in NBA history.
All right. So those are your top 5. Let me ask you, who are your top 5? Who are your top all-time starting 5? Let's go one by one. Point guard.
Magic Johnson.
And I'm guessing Jordan at shooting guard or Kobe?
Jordan at shooting guard. Kobe as well on the wing, shooting guard, small forward, interchangeable. Kevin Garnett. Okay? Kevin Garnett would be my power forward. right? People sleep on this guy, man. People sleep on him. Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, okay, champion, all right, 9-time All Defense, 3-time All Defense second team, 4-time rebounding champ. Okay, this guy was a defensive nightmare. Okay, this is literally the only guy I've seen who can guard the pick and roll. He can guard the man with the ball and the man rolling. He was that dominant defensively. Okay. All right,
and
at the 5 position, holding down the paint is the Diesel, man. You can't do nothing with him. You go get whoever you want to. Hey, it's dog food, man.
I hear you, man. My top 5 beat your top 5. You got a good top 5, though. Mine beat yours by 10. 7, 4-2. 4-2. I give y'all 2. Coach Scott, your top 5 greatest of all time, are they the same as your all-time starting 5?
No, they're not. They're not the same as my starting 5. Very similar though, because I keep the same philosophy as I watch basketball, as I love the sport. I keep the same philosophy, but they change just a little bit. My 1 is a 1A, 1B. It's MJ and LeBron. My number 2 is Kobe. My number 3 is Akeem the Dream, Olajuwon, and my 4 is AI. I can do whatever I want to you. I can stop the ball. I can press the ball. I can play full court. I can run on you. I can play half court. I can do anything I want to you, and I beat you 82 games to none with that team.
Wait. You said run that back again. Who is your 1? Your point guard?
AI is my point.
Shooting guard.
AI is my point. I got Akeem holding down the paint. I got Kobe, Mike on the wing. And I got LeBron doing whatever I need him to do.
All right. My top 5 beat yours too.
I thought he said Isaiah Thomas. That's what I thought he said.
Oh, if Magic sick, I'm going to get Zeke. if Magic got to throw issues, I'm going to get Zeke.
So those are for you. Are those the greatest players?
No, those are my starting 5. My greatest, my Magic at point. And again, if his throat's bothering him, I'm going to get Isaiah. Just playing on that ankle and doing what he did, man.
Not the team. You're 1 through 5. Who's number 1?
Yes, my number 1 is, again, I have a 1A, 1B.
That's what I thought I heard earlier.
Yeah, 1A, 1B,
and it was Jordan and LeBron. Okay, all right,
yes, sir.
All right,
yes, sir.
Now I give it to you. You got a pretty decent top 5, starting 5. I give it to you, but I hate to do it to you, fellas, but
30,000 blocks. That's tough. That's tough.
I got you. I'm gonna tell you why both of you lose to my top 5. You ready? Because you got Mike and Kobe on the same team. You have the same exact personality, the same exact player on the same team. Somewhere along the line, somebody's going to want to prove I am that guy. Give me the ball. And there just might be a struggle between the two. Those 2 players, the 2 greatest shooting guards ever, got to be on 2 separate teams. They're shooting guards. They're supposed to shoot the ball. That's why their position is called shooting guards. Yeah, we could put Kobe at the small, whatever, but Kobe's still going to play shooting guard. I don't care, right? And they're on the same team. So my point guard, Magic. My 2 guard, Jordan. My 3, I'm going with Scotty. And the reason I'm going with Scotty, Coach J.O., don't make your face look like that. I don't necessarily think, listen now, I don't necessarily think the greatest players, because Scotty is an all-time great, but the top 5 greatest, I don't think the top 5 greatest players actually play well together. I don't think they will actually play well on the same team.
That's a formidable point.
Yeah, they could be the goats, but they might not form together, right? So I got Magic at the point. I got Jordan at shooting guard. I got Pippen at 3, and I got Tim Duncan at the 4, and I got Hakeem Olajuwon at the 5. Up there with the blocks, the defense, but he can move as well. And let's say he played against, you guys got Shaq in there, right? Will he be able to stop Shaq? Probably not, but guess what? Shaq couldn't stop him either. That footwork, that's why all the players now go to who? Hakeem. They want to learn the moves in the paint. So just think about the team I put together, right? That's a defensive and an offensive team. And we got the assists. Magic gonna run the assists. Pippen has the ability to run assists and score when he needs to. Tim Duncan is down there on that block. He can play defense or do what he needs to. And we talking about all prime players. Hakeem, same thing. And Jordan, this actually leaves Jordan out. I don't have to play as hard. He will play as hard on both ends, but he can just primarily be a scorer. You have other people who can score, but other people who can dish and play defense. Now, if you ask me who my top 5 is, okay, don't get mad at me, but Magic Johnson is not in my top 5, but he is in my top 5.
Coach J, I'm gonna steal something from. I'm finna steal something from you real quick.
But he is in my all-time starting 5. Okay, so now mind you, now I'm gonna hit you with a little doozy. My top 5 all time and my top 5 greatest, my top 5 greatest of all time are different. All right, I'll explain. My top 5 all time are my top 5 because in their position they can't be stopped. My top 5 greatest of all time, they couldn't be stopped, and they have the accolades and the statistics to go along with it. For example, my top 5 greatest of all time, I got LeBron James. Now, mind you, if you notice, I didn't put him on my starting 5, but I got LeBron James in there. He's number 2. Jordan's number 1. Kobe, I have at number 3, and I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar number 4 and Shaq number 5. Now, Shaq and Kareem can't play on the same team, right? And if you think about Shaq's style of play, you got to give Shaq the ball. You got to see who's coming. You got to back down, what everybody else doing. It wouldn't work. Jordan's not going to sit there all the time. Kobe had a problem sitting there all the time. This is what I'm saying, now my top 5 all time because of just Shaq, got Kareem, we got Jordan, we got Kobe, and I got Tim Duncan. I know Kevin KG is an awesome power forward, but Tim Duncan, I think, is the greatest power forward of all time. You're not stopping him. Even KG says, man, can't stop that guy. He trash talks very low, right in your ear. He gets into your head, so those are my guys, man. My top 5, starting 5, my top 5, the GOATs, and then my top 5 all around unstoppable players. Mine's go 82-0, and mine will beat yours. I think that Magic is an all-time great. Magic is actually my 6th man in, which Coach Scott shared a text message that we're going to talk about, but he's my 6th man, right? But inside the top 5, when you think about it, first off, I think Kareem, because I see top 5 lists without Kareem, which is utterly borderline retarded to me. I think Kareem is the most underrated player. Just because now, for example, we look at LeBron James. He's a scoring leader, right? All-time leading scorer. And when people talk about LeBron, that's one of the first things they bring up. He's the all-time. Well, why wasn't Kareem the greatest when he was the all-time leading scorer? What's the difference, right? Kareem, and you said it yourself, or was it Coach Scott? One of you. Kareem's resume stands out there, man. You can't. No, you said it. You said because you don't have time to write it all down. And then we got Jordan. All right. We got Jordan. I got LeBron. LeBron is not on my top 5. Listen to me. I'm going to explain. LeBron is not on my top 5 all time, but he is on my top 5 GOAT list of top 5 greatest player of all time. Why? I don't think LeBron is that unstoppable, honestly. I think he's a powerful force to play. He's doing what he do. But the reason he's on the GOAT list is because of his resume and because of his play. It's both combined.
His resume is better than Magic's?
That's not what I said. Coach Scott, come here, help me out. That is not what I just said. Did I just say that? I did not say that. I said Coach they were both combined.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that, but I mean,
how do he get on the list then before Magic? Like, how do he get that?
If you want to take that argument, we can. The butcher.
How do he get that before Magic?
We can set this up
before Magic. How?
All right.
Listen.
He is the top. He is the scoring leader. He is all-time leading scorer. He has won 4 championships. He did go to 10 championships. All right. He is like in the top. It was the top 10 in assists. Like he's the man has a resume from here. Now we will say his resume is like longevity stats, and I don't disagree with that. But the fact of the matter is this, they're still his stats. You know, I get the context that we got to put with it, but I'm looking at everything. That's why I said greatest of all time, because I'm counting all time, right? Now, if I say he's just my top 5 player who's dominant, who couldn't be stopped, no, he's not on that list. But he's on the list of all time.
Think about this about you. LeBron James was accumulating stats and not making the playoffs. Like, imagine if this was Magic in the prime of his career or towards the end of the prime of his career, still an all-star level player, and he's accumulating stats. Like, what do those stats do for the team? He just accumulating stats and missing the playoffs.
Okay, Coach J.
What's Magic's
They
record?
shouldn't count.
You're just saying stuff now, man.
No, they should not count.
Basketball. When you score, it goes to you. It don't. I mean, it ultimately goes to the team. But if y'all lose that game, them stats just go to you.
But that's a wasted year. Like, how do you be the 1A GOAT and you're missing the playoffs in your
1B.
prime?
1B.
Oh, I mean 1B. And you're missing the playoffs in your prime with superstar / all-star level players. How is that not a stain? Like, how do you get by?
We've already communicated that the Lakers squad that Magic played with was unprecedented. I mean, what does it for me is this. It's simple. Magic he's probably by far my favorite player. But when you look at Magic and when he said that he relinquished the torch to Jordan, he basically gave up his competitive greatness to be considered the GOAT.
But wait, no. Let's just be honest, Tom. Magic just knew when to step aside because it was gonna leave regardless. Jordan was taking it. He was taking it. It was MJ, right? But Coach J.
MJ was MJ, absolutely. Right. I agree with that, and I'll argue that point. But go take it. Take it from me. Don't. I ain't gonna just give it to. I'm not gonna relinquish it. Take it from me. Don't relinquish it. And that hurt me. Humble. That hurt me with Magic, man. He just relinquished it. He was like, yeah, we he put the stamp on it when we went to the Barcelona and they had that practice and we kind of talked about it then.
Because he's honest. He was honest.
Nah.
He was honest. Wait. Coach J.O., what's LeBron's record in the finals?
What is it? 4-6?
Yeah. What's Magic's record?
Should be 5-4.
So he does have a better finals record, but it's not that drastic. It's not drastically different, right? You know, even with Jordan and LeBron, it's not like it's he's just 2 championships off. If you get 2 more championships, the conversation starts.
But he did that in 12. He did that in like 12 years. It took LeBron like what? 18 years to get to that many finals and win 4 finals. You get what I'm saying?
It took him 16. But when you look at the 21 years or the 20 years he's played at the level of consistency that this man has played from day one to now, you will never see that again.
You will never see anybody win finals MVP as a rookie.
You know how people say never say never? I'm saying never.
Wait. Hold on, Coach Scott. Hold on, Coach Scott. Hold on, Coach J.O. I got to, Coach Scott, let me correct you on that. We will see that, and we're going to start seeing it more. And I'm going to give you a perfect example why. When I was playing ball, had a little lower back injury, right? Make this real short. Went to the doctor. Doctor tells me, hey, listen, the thing with the back is tricky. You can go across the middle. No one touches you, right? You fall out. Your back goes out, right? You can go across the middle. Somebody comes and knocks your head off. You get up like nothing ever happened. Why? Because at that time, the back wasn't as well known. It wasn't the same treatments that are available now. Technology has advanced. Everything's advanced at this point. If they had now what they had then, I could have kept playing, and who knows where I could have gotten to. Who knows? I don't know. But my point is this: technology, knowledge has increased. This is why we're seeing players play longer. This is why we can see Brady play 21 years and X amount of years. We're going to see this more because of how players are able to recoup with their bodies and the technology and the knowledge. So I disagree with that. I think we will see it more because technology is advancing more. Medical technology, the medical field is advancing more, and that's going to help the players play longer and stay healthy over a longer duration of time. I'm telling you.
I agree with you on that point about the health, but we literally just got done having a conversation about Klay Thompson, which is one of the all-time great shooters of the game, and he's just not the same. And that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between a LeBron James and everybody else's career. I'm sorry?
We're in this transitional period. We're just not seeing players like Brady and LeBron right now. Another 10 years, we're going to start seeing more players lasting. It's just going to transition. So I don't know about the never. But we are over on time. But since we are talking about LeBron James, I have a question for you. Got two questions, actually. And I'm going to start off with your Coach J.O. Since we're talking about LeBron James, who should actually be, according to you, on a list below Magic, how long, because we're talking about two Lakers, how long do you think LeBron will remain a Laker? And why has this Laker, and I can give this one to you, Coach, why hasn't this Laker, LeBron James, ever, Miami, Cleveland, LA, why has he never played for a dynasty? Why can't we mention dynasty and LeBron in the same sentence? What's going on with that?
All right, first off, how long will LeBron play? Or how long will he be a Laker, right? Everything points to the NBA draft. If Bronny James declares for the NBA draft, that's where your eyes need to go, okay? LeBron has a $51 million player option for the 2024-2025 season, okay? If Bronny James is drafted by the Lakers or gets on their G League team, you could expect LeBron to remain there. He's made it public that he wants to play with his son. All right, I think that's honorable. I think that's pretty good. I think that'd be good for the game. You know, the last time or the first time we ever seen that was with Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. All right, that was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sight to see. Okay, now at this point, he's diminishing his legacy by continuing to play and play and play, not make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round and just get knocked out. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's literally time to pivot. It's time to pivot towards, playing with his son because, hey, there's literally no more or nothing he can do to catch the ghost. He said he was chasing the ghost, but it's over with.
You don't think he can get another championship?
So right now he's no. Like unless something drastic happens, like we go into another bubble or, Ray Allen catch the ball and, they be down 4 seconds. With 17 seconds to go in game 6 of the NBA finals and, Ray Allen bail him out or something like that. Or Draymond Green gets suspended in game 5 and Bogut get hurt, Iguodala. Something like that happens. You get what I'm saying? He can possibly win another one. But other than that, it's not happening. Okay. And to answer your question about why LeBron hasn't been a part of a dynasty, it's simple. He's underachieved. Okay? He's underachieved. Simple as that. Right?
Wow, well, you say LeBron James is underachieved? Like, can we really say that fairly? Like, now, listen, I think MJ's the GOAT. I think Jordan's the GOAT. But to say LeBron James has underachieved?
Yeah. Do you want me to explain?
Sure.
No.
Sure.
No.
Do you want me to explain? Okay. Sure. All you gotta do is listen. Just listen. Bear with me. 2008, 2009, 66-win Cavs team lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to Dwight Howard and a bunch of role players. A 66-win team, number 1 seed in the NBA. 2009, 2010, another 61-win team lost in the second round to the Boston Celtics. My. 2010, 2011, the Heatles, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Those were LeBron James' words.
He did say that.
He lost in 6 to Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki, and a bunch of role players. Okay? We know what he did in 11 and 12 and 12 and 13. And when it was your time to declare yourself or stamp yourself really as a GOAT to get a three-peat like MJ, like Kobe, You dropped the ball in 13 and 14 to the Spurs. Think about this. The NBA Finals in 2013, 2014, the Miami Heat had an NBA record now in point differential. 70 points point differential in the entire series. That's a NBA record. That's a stain, brother.
It is.
Come on. You had your opportunity for a three-peat and you failed in 5 games to an old Tim Duncan, an old Manu Ginobili, and a baby Kawhi Leonard.
It's a baby Kawhi Leonard. Well,
okay. Yeah. Come on. I got more now. I
got you. Listen, after your explanation, I can't say I disagree with that. Only thing I will say is that Orlando Magic team, they remind me of the New England Patriots. Yeah, you had a Tom Brady and Dwight Howard with a bunch of players who in that system were really good together. That was a really good team. As far as the Miami
Kobe
team,
beat them in 5.
I got you. I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm just saying they were a good team. The Miami series, you're right. He did put that on himself. Not 1, not 2, I forgot what he counted to. But you're right. He put that out there and did not follow up. So, Coach Scott, I mean, after Coach J.O.'s explanation, I can see where he is coming from. I think he underachieved based off his own expectations that he put out there, but the expectations that was the things that were expected of him coming into the league by everyone else, I gotta say, I think he lived up to that and actually surpassed it by a great margin. So I can see both sides of the coin here. What's your thoughts, Coach Scott?
I mean, has LeBron James, from a team perspective, ever played for a dynasty? No. But if you ever decide, I'm gonna use one of my good friends' word, Googleable, right? If this is Googleable information.
Hey, listen, I didn't say you can use that now. You got to rent that from me. I need money for that. Go ahead.
If you ever Google the word dynasty, it's a team or individual. LeBron James has been a walking dynasty for over a decade of basketball. Some of the things that he's accomplished in the 10 NBA finals, but over the 8 NBA final run, statistically has never been seen in the NBA history before, outside of twice. So, I mean, we can go through statistics to kind of belabor the point, but no, he has never played for a team that was a part of a dynasty. But LeBron James himself meets and exceeds the definition of a dynasty himself. In 8 appearances, leaving with 4 championship rings, that's a 50% win ratio. Yeah, he's a dynasty himself.
Well, Coach Dale,
can I ask you a question? Coach Scott, right? If I get in 10 fights, right, and I lose 6 of those fights, right? And in 6 of those fights, six of those fights that I lose, 2 of them, I didn't even get a lick off of you. Not one. I got swept twice. What would you call me? Would you call me a good fighter if I lose 6 out of 10 fights?
If the 4 fights you won, you beat the baddest man on the block at the time, yeah, absolutely, I do.
Okay, what about in those 4 fights?
Hold on. We're not going to just peruse past that. You asked me a good question. That was a significant question. You asked a great question. Yes, I would look at you like, dang, bro, you know. But if you beat the baddest man on the block 4 times, yes, I would say you could fight. Absolutely.
But in the 4 fights that you won, it went all 12 rounds. 2 of those fights that you won, 2 out of the 4, I'm sorry, it went all 12 rounds. What would that say? Like, you didn't dominate the fight, like you barely won.
Since when does winning the fight come down to domination or not? I thought your statistical and your statistical excellence was geared and measured by wins and losses, not how dominant of a win it was or how dominant a loss it was. I didn't know that was a part of the criteria.
It's not. Like, how you perform and how dominant you are in those performances, that doesn't count.
I mean, I'm talking to a man that just you literally just beat up Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan for being so dominant, and that the competition they played was lackluster because of their dominance. And now you're saying because of the way that LeBron James won and it wasn't dominant enough. Yikes.
No, because there's always external circumstances that doesn't include him that aids in his winning, right?
Okay,
Think
so let me
about
ask you. In his first championship, what aided in their winning?
No, that was him, right? That was him. I gave him
All
that.
right. Gotcha. Second championship, what aids in his winning?
All right. Easy. The Miami Heat were down 4 points, 17 seconds to go. Okay? 4 points, 17 seconds to go in the game. The game was literally over with. Do you not know that the San Antonio Spurs literally brought the T-shirts and the Larry O'Brien trophy on the court because literally the game was over with? Kawhi Leonard missed some free throws here and there, right? Boom. We know what LeBron James did. Clank out the backboard. The ball just falling Ray Allen's hands. Swish. Tie the game up. Send it to overtime. They win. That wasn't LeBron James. Okay. That doesn't happen all the time. Okay.
Outside of your favorite player, do you know LeBron James was the only player to have a triple double in NBA Finals in Game 1 and Game 6 outside of Magic Johnson? Listen,
who cares about a triple double when your team is getting beat and are outscored by 70 points?
You're talking as if Ray Allen hitting that shot was not a part of his being there. That's why he was there. That's why he was brought there. That's why he was brought there.
But literally in the same possession, LeBron James had the
one shot.
He had the opportunity to do what Ray Allen did, but he literally clanked the ball off the backboard, didn't hit the rim.
Okay. How many times did Kobe Bean Bryant do it? How many times did Michael Jordan do it?
In those instances?
In those instances, Michael Jordan's most famous commercial is his failure commercial. Do you know his most celebrated shirt commercial was about how many times he took the game-winning shot and missed it? LeBron James missed the shot. Another teammate made the shot. They got a Game 6. And he came back and played like a maestro. Magnificent.
I think what Coach J.O. is saying, though, is the championship. Because those what Jordan was talking about was he was going over some regular season. That's all regular season, maybe some playoffs. But I think J.O. is talking about in the heat of the moment, and it's time to win the game in the championship or take us to overtime or whatever needs to be done. But listen, we've reached our peak here, and we can have this conversation on and on. And listen, if you want to follow us, you should. I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but you should. Subscribe and catch us Tuesday nights. All right. Catch us on Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on The GOAT Debate. All right. Brought to you by GOAT Debate Media. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok. What am I missing? Facebook. I know I'm missing something, right? Twitter. I just got a Twitter. Y'all make sure y'all follow me too. I have 0 followers right now. Make sure you follow me. I need some followers. All right. But with that being said, subscribe. We will be here. We upload on Mondays at 12 and we go live Tuesdays at 8:30. With that, we are out.
Even though I killed the ghost, it's still room to debate. It's either Jordan or LeBron who being labeled the great. If you hungry for the smoke, then come and get you a plate. Cause some rock with LBJ and some giving them hate. Come tune into the show, cause we bout to get into it.
Jordan is the GOAT.
But now it's time to prove it.